Welcome to Salisbury University on the Air, a program highlighting the activities and the people of the campus. My name is Susan Purnell. Less than 2 miles separate Salisbury University's campus from downtown Salisbury. Yet, for many years, that may as well have been 200 miles. That changed in 2013 when SU began working with the city and other organizations to assist with the revitalization of the downtown area. Today, students, faculty, and staff flock to West Main Street for shopping, dining, and special events such as Third Friday. And SU has plenty of offerings for members of the greater community visiting the downtown area, with more to come. Here to tell us about some of those efforts are Eastern Shore Regional Geographic Information Systems Cooperative Practice Manager Lauren McDermott, Liz Kaufman, SU Art Galleries Director, and William Burke, SU Executive Director for Economic Development and Director of the Entrepreneurial Activities here. First is Lauren. So welcome, Lauren.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great to meet you. We're neighbors now because you all are downtown.
Yes.
And I can remember 2015, can't believe it was that long ago, but that Palmer Gillis and Tony Gilkerson gave the Plaza Gallery building to SU and renamed it SU Downtown, right?
Yes.
Yes, and that's where you are right now.
We are.
And you are responsible for the areas, I'm going to say this wrong probably, Eastern Shore Regional GIS Cooperative.
You got it. The
What
ESRGC.
hat do you wear there?
I am the practice manager at the ESRGC. So essentially, I just oversee all the day-to-day operations. So from beginning, initiation of projects to delivery of projects, and a little bit of everything in between, overseeing our project managers and so forth.
Chief cook and bottle washer, probably.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Sure.
Can you tell us about how the center was founded?
Yes, absolutely. So our director, Michael Scott, did his graduate work in South Carolina, and while he was there, he had the opportunity to experience GIS at a regional level. So in South Carolina, the councils of government were actually mandated by legislation to provide GIS services to their constituents. And when he came back to Salisbury University, he saw that that was really a model that could work here. GIS is an expensive technology and requires professionals that have a suite of skills. So he saw that we could approach this expensive technology in a regional way and get a lot more accomplished. And he approached the Midshore Regional Council executive director and the executive director for the Lower Shore Tri-County Council for the Lower Eastern Shore of Maryland. They both were on board with this idea, and a partnership formed between the university and those two entities. And here we are today.
So, and it's called a cooperative because of that partnership, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me exactly, what do you do there?
So we're a GIS cooperative. GIS is Geographic Information Systems or Science. And essentially what GIS is, it's a way of collecting, developing, collecting, analyzing, and visualizing data, spatial data. So anything that is location-based. We do an example would be a project that we did several years ago with Wicomico County to look at it's a sidewalk study to look at how do we get our children to school safely. Where do we have sidewalks? Where do we need sidewalks? In order to ask these questions and to find answers, we have to be able to visualize where the schools are, where the students are, and where the sidewalks are. And once we can start to see those relationships, we start to ask more in-depth questions and be able to find answers.
So tell me about some other projects that you're working on.
Oh gosh, there's quite a range. So we do, as I said, a lot of data development, utility work. So in the towns, we're creating inventories for the towns and the counties to basically map where all of their infrastructure is for a water and sewer system, say. That then allows them to pass that information on to engineers who can then look at flow, do modeling, determine, is everything going where it should be going? So we do a lot of that type of work. And then we also do a lot of work with dashboards. So creating visualizations for decision makers that allows them to visualize data that otherwise would just be in perhaps a tabular format. Just can't really glean too much from it. Sometimes these data sets are very large, just too difficult to consume as data themselves. But when we can start to visualize them through maps or graphs,
so you kind of make a PowerPoint out of it all.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
We can start to really visualize what's happening and see trends. That's an important one.
And some of your major clients are?
Oh, well, there's a large range there as well. So we absolutely are sort of bread and butter, and where our heart is serving the towns and counties of the Mid and Lower Shore. But we also have, over the years, developed relationships with state organizations, Department of Information Technology. We've done a lot of work for Department of Natural Resources and the Critical Area Commission. We've also done some federal work, and also branched out into other states, have contacted us to do work. We've done work in Georgia and Oklahoma as well.
So being downtown, has that been a help to you with regard to your business?
Absolutely.
In what way?
I think that, you know, we are an outreach entity of the university, and we're not going to find a lot of our clients on the campus.
Right.
So it's that extension of the campus into the community that really has an effect. And so now our services are more visible. And we have there's more of a branding, I think. They're more aware of the fact that, yes, we're part of SU, but we are also a professional organization.
Your own entity.
Exactly.
Are students and faculty involved in any of the projects that you're working on?
They are critical to our mission, actually. In our 15 years, we have employed well over 150 student interns to help make things go. In fact, and countless faculty. I mean, having their expertise on hand is invaluable as well. But the student intern aspect, it's something that we're very proud of. It's something that we see as being primary to our role here. We've had the opportunity to bring them in and give them experience working on real projects, and get their hands dirty with that, and also build a resume while they're still undergrads.
Yeah,
which is
it's a great
exceptional.
idea.
Some of them are involved with creating the data that we are using in our projects to do analyses. So they may be actually interacting with software and developing that data. We also do a lot of field work, whether it's going out in the field with tablets to fill out information for a housing quality study, or driving around the state taking speed tests to map broadband availability and speeds. I mean, the range is wide.
Wow.
But there's really very few things that they're not able to be involved in on some level.
So you've been around for 15 years. How many projects have you worked on? And if you can, how much does that equal in grants and contracts?
Sure. I actually don't have a count of projects at the moment.
Okay.
It is
a lot.
But a lot. So in dollars and cents, we're at about well over $9 million in revenue. So we've been busy.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
In 15 years. I mean, many companies would be thrilled to be able to say that. That's great. So are visitors like me welcome anytime, or do you have special times that people can come and see you and see what you're doing?
Absolutely. Well, we're there Monday through Friday from 8 until 5 p.m., 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have a staff of 10 full-time permanent staff, and we have a doorbell at our suite. Just ring the doorbell. We're happy to give you the tour and fill you in on what we've been working on.
It's so interesting. So if I wanted to contract with you, how would I go about that?
So we have a website. It's www.esrgc.org. And from there, you can get to me and we can have a conversation and get things rolling.
It's a whole area that I knew nothing about, and I'm fascinated. And I think it's amazing that you've made such a great success out of it.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a team effort. We have an amazing staff and a fantastic director, and the support of the university has been just amazing and really made this go.
That's wonderful. Well, great to meet you.
So nice to meet you.
And we'll be back after a look at some of the other activities happening on the campus for the remainder of March. Elizabeth Kaufman, SU Art Gallery's director, joins us now to discuss what's happening at SU Art Galleries downtown and some of the exhibits we can look forward to in the near future. Elizabeth, welcome.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yes. So we're neighbors downtown, and really have been for a while, because I think that you started out with the SU Galleries around the corner from me on Division Street, right?
Correct.
And why do you think it's so important for the gallery to be downtown? And you were one of the first of the SU groups downtown.
In 2016, we moved into the gallery building temporarily while our space that we're in now is being renovated. So we officially moved into our permanent home in 2017.
Is there some good point about the two art galleries being together, a synergistic relationship or anything like that?
I think so. And I always feel the more the merrier, right? So the more arts organizations we can have, the more galleries, the better it is for everybody. It's kind of like how Starbucks likes to pop up right next to the local coffee shop. There's some benefit there.
Oh, I totally agree with that. I mean, I would welcome 6 more jewelry stores downtown if we could find them. I would love that.
Yeah.
And then people would come to that area when they were interested in jewelry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I get you. Being downtown has also, I think, allowed you the opportunity to partner with other organizations. Tell me a little bit about that.
So we've partnered with several different organizations over the years. Migrant Clinicians Network a long time ago. Most recently, the Chamber of Commerce has been a partner for many things. We recently, just a few weeks ago, hosted their February event, the Shorecraft Beer Fest event. And that was a lot of fun. At the art gallery. So people came in and had a great time, and so that was super fun. And then coming up in April, on April 6th, we're actually going to have a program called Undercurrents, where we're again partnering with the Chamber and their Young Professionals organization and offering cutting edge, underground music as well as art to try and appeal to, the younger crowd in Salisbury.
That's just great, and we need to do that so that they know there is a downtown.
Exactly.
Has being downtown been good for you with regard to a little more visibility, such as when we have our third Fridays?
It's really great to be on the plaza now, and we see a huge bump every third Friday that we're super thankful for.
I agree. How do you pick the exhibits that are in your gallery?
So our gallery staff is the main group of people that selects the exhibitions for the SU Art Galleries. But occasionally we work with other organizations. Sometimes the Dean of the Fulton School or perhaps even the Provost of the university might suggest something. For example, in the fall we are working with the Maryland Humanities Council to present an exhibition on water, because obviously we're on the Eastern Shore, so water is really, really important.
Everywhere and very important.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Let me ask you, what's going on now? What are you showing now in the gallery?
So downtown, we are showing our faculty exhibition. So about every 2 years, maybe a little less, we show what's going on in the professional creative practices of our faculty at Salisbury.
And what's next?
What's next is a retrospective. Well, actually, he wants us to call it a survey. But Carl Goldhagen, he's a painter, a drawer. He's been living and working on the Eastern Shore forever.
Really?
He's out in Girdletree, actually Girdletree, Maryland.
What kind of art
town.
does he do?
He does paintings right now that are sort of semi-abstract but really colorful and kind of playful, and a lot of it about sort of being, he's an older gentleman, he's in his 60s, and living and working on the shore is kind of a common theme in his work. But he and his wife actually came from New York, so they're originally, he's originally a Marylander. No, she is too. And so they spent many years in New York and were very vested in the art scene there, and then came back. So we're really excited to present his work.
Oh, I really want to see it. Now, when you go in, are they for sale? The pieces are for sale as well?
Yes, but we are, we're part of the university, so we're not a for-profit gallery, so we're not pushing sales. We don't really interfere with people when they come in to look at the art, other than to offer any support or, feedback they need, but we're not there to really push sales.
Now, in the summer, I understand you have certain kinds of events, special events. What are they?
We have special events all year round, but we do try to do more things downtown in the summer, because that's when things are hopping. So we are working on increasing our number of kids opportunities. So we're planning a couple of summer camps for kids where they can come into the galleries and make art and really engage with that process. Beyond that, I already mentioned the April Undercurrents event.
Right.
We're also planning an affordable art fair where sales is a little bit more of a purpose there in May. That will be May 17th. And beyond that, we just try to always partner with organizations, plan events that try to bring more people in. That's our kind of constant mission these days. Is
Now, for your art fair, are you asking people to bring in their old art kind of thing and just selling it?
So it's for local artists, local regional artists who may be emerging, right? So they haven't established a big collector network.
Right.
They don't have a dealer, or they probably don't have a gallery supporting them, but they want to sell their work. So we're asking artists to apply. You know, it's going to be a space issue mostly in terms of who we're presenting and who we're not. But it's really to help promote. You know, one of our goals is to help promote the arts on the shore. So that means not just showing the art, but helping those who are making the art have the opportunity to show it, have the opportunity to improve their professional practice.
That's terrific. So now we talked a lot about the downtown gallery, but I understand that you also oversee some of the other galleries here at SU.
Yes, so we have 3 gallery spaces. We have 2 on campus. One is in the Fulton Hall building, and it's called the University Gallery. It just really doesn't have a name.
And it's so beautiful. Yes, that's a great space.
And I think it's our flagship space, as I like to call it. It was instituted with the building of that building back in the early 90s. And I think it's what people most think of when they think of us, if they're familiar with the SU Art Galleries. Then we also have the Electronic Gallery that started about 10 years ago, and that's in Conway Hall. It's a small space, but it's exclusively for cutting-edge artworks that engage with new technologies or new processes. So a lot of computer-generated art or video.
I was trying to figure this out, like what's the end product here?
Yeah.
Okay, so it could be a computer-generated image or something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. That's over in Conway Hall.
Because
did not know that.
Conway's Teacher Education Technology Center, so technology center.
Makes
so that's
sense.
Why.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, if anybody is interested in learning anything about your galleries, how do they go about it?
SU Art Galleries, all one word, all lowercase.org is our blog. It's the best place to go for the most current information.
Okay.
Our contact information is there, so if anyone needs to talk to a human being and ask questions, because sometimes stuff isn't super clear, there's not a ton of art on the shore, so we welcome phone calls and questions anytime.
Excellent. Well, Elizabeth, so great to meet you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
The exhibits hosted by SU Art Galleries are always so interesting and thought-provoking. I'm excited that they're not limited to just SU's main campus. Now, I'll be right back with today's final guest, but first, a new feature for SU on the Air. SU students recently shared their undergraduate research with members of the Maryland General Assembly during the 2nd annual Posters on the Bay session in Annapolis. Let's take a look.
Posters on the Bay really presents an opportunity for the students to show the great work they're doing, but also to represent Salisbury University and the University System of Maryland here at Annapolis.
I am doing research on diabetes, so we use zebrafish, which is our model to induce diabetes-like conditions, and look at what the characteristics are in the nervous system.
The purpose of this project was to apply GIS to the Salisbury University Arboretum by creating 2 cartographic visualizations that display all the features within our Level 3 accredited Arboretum.
So I decided to look at African American history on the eastern shore of Maryland after the Civil War.
Not a lot of conservation research gets looked at very often, and it's really awesome to be able to share it with people who might not know a lot about it.
So I'm using artificial neural networks and deep learning in order to create a closed captioning system for ambient noise in video games.
Basically, I designed a medical bed that effectively prevents bed sores.
For today's research, I was looking at the history of the poultry industry on the Delmarva Peninsula.
So I am very interested in the diverse ideologies that have arisen out of the experience of Indians during British colonialism in India.
I focused on the biological impacts of stress on cellularly aging, physiological phenotypes, and gene expression.
The focus of my research is on self-driving cars and more specifically the legislation surrounding it.
So my research is creating alpha-aminoketone drugs using electrosynthesis, which basically means that we are using electricity to create drugs and therefore reducing the waste and is better for the environment.
I focused on the sedimentation buildup behind the Conowingo Dam, and I was focusing on how it affects the Chesapeake Bay because it is so close to the Susquehanna River.
We did research with individuals with upper limb differences and their experiences in K-12 education and how that can relate to how teachers can help.
There's a reason we're doing this research, and it's not just because we're, just interested in the topic. We want to somehow make the world a better place.
That's so interesting. Undergraduate research has long been a pillar of an SU education, and it's so exciting that those students got to share their findings with our state legislators. Our final guest today is William Burke, SU Executive Director for Economic Development and Director of Entrepreneurial Activities, here to tell us about what's next for SU downtown. So welcome back, Bill.
Thank you,
I can't
Susan.
believe it's been 2 years since you've been here. Seems like yesterday. Now, I didn't mention all of the titles because I don't think I could possibly say them all in one breath that you have here at SU. What other things do you do besides what we're going to talk about today?
So my main job is Professor of the Practice in the Purdue School of Business in the Information and Decision Science Department. And next year will be my 20th year teaching, but I'm also Executive Director of Economic Development, Director of Entrepreneurship, Director of our Shore Hatchery, and then I'll also be Director of our Center for Entrepreneurship downtown.
So wearing your economic development hat today, let's go back to the conversation we had in 2017 about David and Patsy Rommel's gift to the university. I mean, it's so wonderfully charitable on their part.
So a little bit about the gift. So at that time we announced a $5.5 million gift and planned gift provided by Dave and Patsy Rommel to support entrepreneurship. At that time, Dave has been intimately involved in our competitions, both our student competition and the Shore Hatchery, for about 4 years, and so he wanted to step up his involvement as well as encourage others to step up and contribute to our program and support entrepreneurship. Not only entrepreneurship for the school, but also entrepreneurship for the community.
He's a great model.
Yes.
Successful entrepreneurship. Right? He certainly is, and I know he really enjoyed that work with the Shore Hatchery program. So we're now about a year away from the actual opening up, I guess, of the downtown branch of the Center for Entrepreneurship. Tell me a little bit about that.
So one of the things that's interesting is this summer we did the demolition of the former IRS space, and so it's just an open work area now, and so Folk Festival was coming up. And so we set up some displays for the Folk Festival, and then we continue with Third Fridays. We had some special events. So within a construction site, we've had over 500 guests over during the fall time from the Folk Festival on, which is pretty amazing. Shortly, within a month or two, the USM works with our physical plant team here in determining, awarding the RFP recipients, which would be a design and build contract. So we're waiting for that to be announced.
That's what we're waiting for.
Yes, that to be announced, and then they'll move forward with us taking our conceptual design and a more detailed design, and then to actually build and construct that.
So what time frame are we talking about opening up?
So for the past couple of years, we've been planning for May 2020 because of that's right after our competitions. Our competitors, our winners from our competitions, will be the first residents within the downtown center.
So, what kind of amenities will the center offer?
So, for the winners of the competition, they'll have for free either a garage or an office. So, today, most entrepreneurs can work from their phone or from anywhere. A lot don't have what I'll call garage space to assemble their products, space to store their inventory, etc. So those winners, there's 36 winners, 12 will have the opportunity to have either an office or garage for free for 6 to 12 months. And then we're creating a community of entrepreneurs. Being an entrepreneur.
Will they all be in that space?
Right. So
you're
12,
kidding.
yes. So it'd be a community of 12 entrepreneurs, and then we've created some other spaces: our Food for Thought Cafe, our assembly area, a collaborative group for the community to come in and meet with them.
Okay, so you've got this center and you have 12 entrepreneurs doing each their own thing. How does all that work? How does that jive together?
Right. So the key is, so we've been working with a number of entrepreneurs over the past couple of years. They've been winners in our competition. We will assign them to spots, and then we will have events and activities in order to find out what their needs are. So do they need marketing? Do they need accounting? Do they just need some support? Do they need intellectual property? So determining on what their needs analysis comes out to be, then we'll help provide those resources, once again for free, to those.
For how long?
For 6 to 12 months. The max that they would be in there would be 12 months, and then planning to launch them into the community.
Is there a hope that some of these newly hatched entrepreneurships will result in some local business, people staying here?
So in addition to the entrepreneurs, so the entrepreneurs are going to be residents to the center. The community will be the guests to the center. And we're going to have an open door policy that individuals from the community who can help our entrepreneurs are more than welcome. And we have special spaces for them to meet with our entrepreneurs. We're really focused on what I'll call positive collisions, where we're bringing individuals that these entrepreneurs who may not normally have the opportunity to meet with the mayor, to meet with Dave Ryan of SWED, to meet with Bill Chambers of the Chamber, or others, or just business, Dave Rommel himself, right? Business and successful entrepreneurs, yourself, right, Susan, with your business, coming in and giving some guidance and support.
I'd be happy for another jewelry store to just come right next door to me, and I'd give them all the guidance and support they want, and it's a great idea.
Right.
I mean, I always think two heads are better than one, and you're bringing in many heads, so that's terrific. What do you think is important to you with regard to having it downtown versus somewhere on campus?
Well, being downtown, it's easier access to all the individuals I mentioned. It also will help support the future economic plans for downtown. So yes, our hope is that a number of these collisions will develop in relationships with the local community, and then the entrepreneurs will feel comfortable moving into somewhere within the downtown or right outside the local
There's
area.
a lot of space down there.
Yep.
There really is, and we would welcome them, that's for sure. So while this is under construction up until next May, I know you have another place where you have mentorships and where you foster entrepreneurships, and that is where on campus?
So in Purdue Hall, it's the Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Economic Development Hub. So when the Academic Commons opened up, Blackwell Library became available for the university's decision to make centralized advising. The advising group that was in the place we're at now moved into Blackwell, the old Blackwell Library. And so Dean Christy Weir provided this space for us. So in the past, I was working from my faculty office up on the third floor, behind some glass walls, etc. Not easy access to the students or even to the community. So now we're on the first floor. Any students
Of the old library?
Oh, we're on the first floor of Purdue Hall. Sorry.
Oh, Purdue Hall.
Purdue Hall.
Okay.
We're on the first floor of Purdue Hall, and students pass the entranceway to our hub on a regular basis.
Do people in the public have an opportunity to go there, and is there any reason that they would? Anything you offer in particular?
Well, what's interesting is this afternoon, after we do this interview, I have someone from the community coming in to meet with us and to meet with our students, looking to get exactly what we're talking about, looking to create collisions with our positive collisions with our students, with our entrepreneurs. Over the past couple of weeks, we've had a number of faculty, staff, and other members of the community coming in. So the community is becoming more aware that we have this location here on campus, and absolutely they're encouraged to come in, not only to provide support, but if they are entrepreneurs themselves or if they're looking to develop an idea, we're happy to help them.
So that's great. So if you have some great idea, something you've invented, whatever, go talk to Bill, and he'll help you get the support you need. Is that what you're saying, basically?
Yeah, basically. So there's a team that works with me. team of student workers and undergraduate workers as well as graduate workers. Small business, John Hickman from Small Business Development Center works with me. Kathy, who helps me run the center, is a team that helps make these connections happen.
You have said that the hub is the part of the Eastern Shore ecosystem for entrepreneurship. What do you mean by that, and what are the other parts?
So in other areas, it's typically the ecosystem is competitive. Here, over the past 5-6 years or longer, we've been making a collaborative ecosystem. So we can't do it all ourselves. We need to everyone working together for our large group of entrepreneurs that we have. So we've created a good, what I'll say, feeder system to attract and maintain entrepreneurs coming in on a regular basis. And so these other groups such as TEDCO, the City of Salisbury, SWED, Salisbury Wycombe Economic Development, Maryland Capital Enterprise, Hot Desk. So they work with us on a regular basis in order to help our entrepreneurs. So instead of us, hey, these are our entrepreneurs, instead of being competitive.
It's collaborative.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's helping one another for the greater good, not only for the entrepreneur, but also for the community.
I never heard the term positive collision because my
Right.
definition of collision has not been positive.
Right.
But that's very interesting, and that seems to kind of sum up what you're doing there.
Yes.
Yeah. If someone wants to know more about what you do and the potential of the Center for Entrepreneurship, where should they go?
So if, from a web standpoint, just the salisbury.edu website, just type in entrepreneurship and they'll get a lot of information on it. Or just stop into the hub on the first floor. So there's someone always there. We've started to run more evening sessions because we've found that there's so much competition for time during the day that having some evening sessions is a good way to attract not only the student population but also the community population.
Okay. And that, again, that hub is on the first floor of
Purdue Hall. Purdue
Okay,
Hall.
good. Well, it's been so interesting. Thank you again for talking with me about this, and I wish you all the best and can't wait to welcome you to downtown.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And it's great to catch up and tell you the progress.
Absolutely, great. Thanks again.
You're welcome. Thanks, Susan.
The Center for Entrepreneurship sounds like something we can all look forward to in downtown Salisbury. And we haven't even mentioned some of SU's other downtown initiatives, such as the Simply Salisbury shop at SU Downtown and the weekend trolley service between campus and the downtown area. But unfortunately, we're out of time, so those will have to wait for another show. I'm excited about all the future has to hold for SU and downtown Salisbury. I'd like to thank my guests, Eastern Shore Regional Geographic Information Systems Cooperative Practice Manager, Lauren McDermott, Elizabeth Kaufman, SU Art Gallery's Director, and Bill Burke, SU Executive Director for Economic Development and the Director of Entrepreneurial Activities. I'm Susan Purnell. This has been Salisbury University on the Air. Thank you for watching.